The Ashtavakra Gita, presented by Svayam Prakash Sharma, Part 11. Part 11 consists of Chapter 17, in which Ashtavakra elaborates on the absolute aloneness of the Atma. He tells that the Atma is solitary. It alone fills the whole constellation of the universes, and it enjoys supreme delight in itself. All desires and all goals of life, and even those of liberation, are extinguished. Mind and its activities, such as delusion, imagination, inertia, as well as the dualities of happiness and sorrow, of man and woman, of good and evil, and of life and death, all disappear. Even the body and the senses stop operating. For such a one, nothing exists, or he exists everywhere. With his mind void and transcending contemplation and non contemplation, as well as good and evil, a person abides in the state of absolute aloneness or kaivalya, which in fact is his pure nature. Chapter. Ashtavakra says to Janak, that person has obtained the fruit of wisdom, as well as that of the practice of yoga, who, being self-contented and purified in the senses, constantly moves about in his aloneness, since he has found his own Atma in all and all in his own Atma. His senses, which have become non-attached from the phenomenal world, achieve naturalness. Oh, the wise man is one who never suffers misery in this world, since he alone fills the whole constellation of the universe. Know that non-duality is the only method of overcoming misery and obtaining perfect detachment and isolation on the one hand, and of obtaining perfect detachment and happiness of the highest kind, Param Anand, on the other hand. Just as the elephant delights in eating the leaves of the shalaki tree, but dislikes eating the leaves of the neem tree, in the same way, the person who is contented in the Atma, he is always displeased with the sense objects. He does not like the sense objects. It is indeed rare to find a person in the world who does not hanker after the things that are enjoyed by him or after the things that are not enjoyed by him. Normally, two types of people are found in the world. One are those who seek enjoyment, and the other are those who seek emancipation. It would indeed be rare to find a person who does not seek either of these, who does not seek enjoyment and who does not seek emancipation. It is only a very few broad-minded people who have no sense for these. They have no sense for either attraction towards the goals of life or for rejection of the very same goals of life, of righteousness, of wealth, of desire, or of emancipation. They have no sense of acceptance or rejection of life and death as well. The person of aloneness, the person of kaivalya, rises above the traditional goals of life, of righteousness, of wealth, of desire, and of emancipation because of his absolute knowledge. For the man of wisdom, there is neither longing for the dissolution of the universe, nor is there aversion for its existence. Therefore, he is blessed as he lives contentedly with whatever kind of living that comes to his lot. He is content with whatever comes his way. Such a one is fulfilled by his wisdom of the self or the Atma. His mind is merged in the Atma, And since his ego has been completely eliminated, he lives happily, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and assimilating the objects of the senses. For such a wise person, the sense of reality of the world is completely annihilated, because of which he has neither attachment nor aversion for the world. His gaze becomes vacant, his bodily actions become purposeless, and his senses stop operating. The wise person is neither awake nor is he asleep. He neither opens his eyes nor does he close them. Oh, the wise person with the liberated soul experiences the supreme condition everywhere. The wise person abides in himself everywhere. He is undefiled. He is untainted in his desires everywhere. He is released from all passions and he shines like the free being everywhere. The emancipated person, the noble minded one, is always free from attachment and aversion, even if he is seeing, even if he is hearing, even if he is touching, even if he is smelling, even if he is eating, even if he is accepting, even if he is speaking, and even if he is moving. He is always free from both attachment and aversion, even while he is doing all these activities. The wise person neither abuses nor does he praise. The wise person neither rejoices nor is he angry. The wise person neither gives nor does he receive. He is devoid of flavors in respect of all things. He does not have a taste for anything. The noble minded, wise person remains unperturbed and self poised, even when he sees a woman full of passion. He is also unperturbed and poised at the approach of death. Such a wise one is truly emancipated. He is truly liberated. The wise person sees the same everywhere. And since he sees the same everywhere, he finds no difference between happiness and sorrow, between happiness and misery. He finds no difference between man and woman, and he finds no difference between fortune and misfortune. To such a one, they are all the same. The wise person is one whose mundane life has waned and who has transcended humanness. For such a one, there is no violence. For such a one, there is no compassion. For such a one, there is no pride. For such a one, there is no humility. And for such a one, there is no surprise and there is no agitation. Such an emancipated person neither has aversion for the objects of the senses, nor does he have a craving for them. With his detached mind, the emancipated person enjoys equally what he has attained and what he has not attained. He finds equal enjoyment in both. The wise man's mind is void. He has an empty mind. And because he has an empty mind, he does not know the mental alternatives of contemplation and non contemplation and of good and evil. Such a wise person abides as if in the state of absolute aloneness, a state which is not only supreme loneliness, which is not only non attachment and purity of the Atma, but a state which is also perfection, or which is also omniscience or all knowing, and which is bliss of the Atma. Such a one is devoid of the sense of ego and of the feeling of ego. He knows for certain that nothing is. He knows for sure that nothing in reality exists. with all his desires melted away in the inner life, such a wise man does no action even though he acts. A supreme state is attained by the man of wisdom, who, with his mind melted away, is stripped of expressions of the mind, is stripped of delusion, is stripped of imagination, and is stripped of inertia. Yes, a supreme status is attained by the man of wisdom, who, with his mind melted away, is stripped of expression of the mind, is stripped of delusion, is stripped of imagination, and is stripped of inertia. This concludes chapter 17 and part 11 of the Ashtavakra Gita. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.